Hey everyone, this is Penny and Katie from Pet and Parent Longevity, and welcome to the New Year's Pocket Coaching. We're going to talk today about starting out the new year right and how you get to choose and create your new health destiny. So you've got a whole year in front of you. It's a blank page. You can do with it whatever you want. And probably some of you have been spending time setting goals, thinking about resolutions, making plans of what it is you want to accomplish this year. And these are really important things to do. But as we all know from bitter experience, myself well included in that, if you don't have a plan as well as the idea, then most of these resolutions and ideas tend to fall by the wayside fairly quickly. And what is required to get there, to get that success, is to, first of all, be really emotionally attached to that idea. If you just think it's a good idea, if you just think, oh, it'd be quite nice if, then you're probably not going to pursue that. Whereas if it's something that's a burning need in you, a real desire that you're committed to, that you're in love with the idea of, there's a really strong reason why, there's a motivating force that's going to drive you even when it's raining, even when you get tempted not to, or anything else, then that's the thing that that's going to carry you through. And so I want to encourage you, as you start to think what's possible, and I hope now you're starting to realize that there is way more that's possible than you thought before, right? Because now you know that so much of the control over your health and your longevity and what you're doing for your pets to set them up to live to 20 or 30 is actually in your hands. So you do get to choose. And if you care about it enough, if you're emotionally connected to it in that way, and it really becomes important to you, then this is extremely achievable. But in order to start, you need to have an understanding of where you are as well as where you want to go. So often we look into the future and say, that's where I want to go. That's the goal I want. That's the vision for me. But what's your actual starting point? And then we can create stepping stones in between. So we're going to just break down today a couple of coaching points for you to help you set that up so that you know where you are, know what the stepping stones are, and can take those in a logical and sequential way that is not overwhelming and will get you to that place of that amazing destiny that you're looking for. So Katie, take us through how we would do that.
Yeah, I love what you said about it's almost like creating a roadmap, right? You have to start with knowing why you're trying to get to your destination. And then let's start at the beginning. Like you said, know where you're at now. The new year's a really, really, really good time to check in with yourself, check in with your pets, and know where you're currently at. And this is not a time for judgment. This is just a time to look in the mirror and reflect, because if we don't know where we're at, then the next steps become really unclear. And that's a mistake that I see a lot, is setting next steps that are 3 steps ahead. But let's just be honest, where are you at now? And that will guide where you go from here. So knowing your normals and knowing where you're at, that can look like a couple different things. Getting some blood work done, having some objective data can be really, really helpful in this process. Again, for you, for your pets, to just look at where things are at, and trying to get a pretty broad range of data points is also really helpful, because it helps you understand how's my, metabolic health, how's my inflammation, right? All these different kind of areas that are all really important. And then check in with yourself and how you're feeling too, sort of this subjective data where you say, how's your energy levels? Scale of 1 to 10, like, are you living your best life? Where's your number? And that is going to help set the stage for your starting place. And then knowing, okay, well, if right now I'm feeling like a 6 out of 10 on my energy, my goal is to be a 10 out of 10. Well, now you have that starting and that endpoint. And then it comes to setting realistic and achievable goals.
You're going to do this on behalf of your pet as well. It's a bit hard to ask them, where are you on a scale of 1 to 10 on how soft your fur is, or how much energy you feel, or how easy it is to jump over that fence. but you can observe them. You can understand what is great welfare for them, what they used to be like. I mean, at the end of the day, you know your pet better than anyone else. You know what they were like when they were younger or before they had a diagnosis, or if they're not in a place of aging yet, but you've got them in prime condition sort of thing, then how do you maintain that? What are the markers that you think are defining where they are right now, and how can you hold on to that? How can you optimize that, make that last as long as possible? So you get to decide, and there's no right or wrong. Every single animal is an individual, and how they live their life is going to be different according to their morphology, what their job might be, and all those kinds of things. So we're not here to be prescriptive on any of those things, but what we want to do is just encourage you to say, if you want to take your pet from wherever they are now to a different place, then you can. So a step-by-step process is the strongest way of doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to the step-by-step, if you're listening to this, you're already this kind of 2.0 pet parent, right? You're already invested in your health, in your pet's health, and you're likely already doing a lot. So what that goal looks like for you is going to be different than anyone else, and what that next step looks like is going to be different. But we want to use the general framework, and just to kind of give you an overview, we want to make sure that these goals are what we call SMART, which is an acronym. We want to make sure that it's really well defined. So it's specific, it's measurable, it's actionable, it's realistic, and there's a time frame with which you're working on this. So what is that going to be? Again, that depends, but we have some tools coming up that I think are going to be really helpful for you when it comes to defining what you want that to be. So in our next summit, which is starting here very shortly, we're going to be talking about experts from a variety of different areas. And when you listen to all of that, all of those different specialties and ways to approach health and longevity, then you're going to be able to break that down into those SMART goals for yourself.
Having an idea is the easy part, because we all know what we want. You know, nobody says, oh, I don't know what I want. We all know what we want. But the how-to is the harder bit. And that's what we want to do for you, right? That's why we're doing these summits. That's why we're doing pocket coaching. That's why we're sending out messages on Facebook group or wherever else we can connect with you, is because we know that it's really hard to figure out what those stepping stones are unless somebody has taken that pathway before, you know, to lead the way, to be a mentor, to be a teacher, to be a guide, right? And so Katie and I have a lot of information ourselves. We've studied hard, we've done the pathway, we've got our own pets, we've got our own health, and we deal with all of those things. But when by no means, like, you know, the only people in the world who have a few ideas, right? So we are bringing the people into the summit for you who have so many other facets of expertise and knowledge, so that you can start to puzzle piece and take this piece here and that piece there and put it together for you to have that bigger picture of what is actually possible. Then if you need help going forward, if you need help actually implementing that, then we're going to provide you with additional resources and avenues and possibilities to be able to do that, so you're not left on your own. But the summit is an amazing way to get a big flash of inspiration and some concepts of, oh, I didn't know that was possible, but now I know that I can even entertain that idea. So I'd strongly encourage you to come to the summit. It's completely free, and you've got the opportunity to be inspired. Then if you need help implementing, come and talk to us one way or another, and we'll help you do that. If you don't need help getting it implemented, fantastic, right? And I can only imagine what December of this year is going to look like for you based on where you are right now and what you are able to do. So be strongly encouraged. Don't overcomplicate this or put pressure on yourself or make it hard. You will have setbacks, you will have failures. There will be a month where it all goes squiffy, or, you know, you fall into temptation, things fall off the wagon. Do not worry, right? This is normal. This is part of the whole idea. That's where you learn. You get the most important data sometimes from those sort of pitfall areas where it all falls apart. So celebrate those as well as the progress, because it's all part of the big picture, and you wouldn't be able to do, nobody goes all the way up all the time. Like there's always a wiggle, right? So just, yeah, roll with that. But if you want to share with us any of your successes, any of your failures, if you want to say, hey, here's a pitfall here, pop those things in the Facebook group, because you just have no idea the power and impact that that has on someone else who's doing the same pathway that you are. And now you can help them dodge that thing, or to troubleshoot that better, or to know that that's coming up and it's likely to be an issue. So just that community spirit of sharing. And that's what we're doing with the summit as well. It's bringing everyone together and sharing as much as we possibly can in a small amount of time to empower you guys. But the power really comes from all of you also sharing and talking to each other too. And we absolutely love that. And we're in the Facebook group often to connect with you there and see that and be inspired as well. So amazing. I'm going to wrap it there. Katie, if there's any final words you want to add to that, but just be excited about this new year. You really do have more power than you think. And we're not going to let you get lost in the woods along the way to getting there.
Yeah. So if you're getting the Pocket Coaching emails, like Penny said, you are already registered for the free summit. If you found this video on YouTube or a friend sent it to you, you have an awesome friend, but also make sure that you register so that you can access all of those videos. You can do it at petandparentlongevity.com, or if a friend forwarded you the email, there should be a link at the bottom of the email to register. So we will see you there. Spread the word, share the summit. Let's get the word out there. You know how much of a difference you can make for your pet, for your own health. Share that information with everyone else who needs to hear it. Until next time.